You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Salimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Hello and welcome back to That Home Loan Hub. If you've got a lot of debt and you can't sleep at night, this is the episode for you. So please listen up. I've got James in the house. Hello, James.
Kia ora.
Yo, James, we have few clients at the moment that come to us after lots of sleepless nights because they've got so much debt, they got themselves into a bit of a trouble, and they just don't know if it's possible for them to ever buy a house. What are we doing with them? Let's dive in.
Okie dokie. Yes, it's really interesting, the range of debt that people can build up that we can help with. What I am seeing is a lot of personal loans for cars, and they seem to, that's the most common one, and they're on really high interest rates. So that can really be a drawback when you're trying to go for a mortgage. So what we're having to do with many of these clients, because they've locked in quite high interest rates with would you say second tier lender or low end lender, we can get that debt at a much cheaper rate for them, and then through one of our lenders, so we can take their personal loan at they might be paying 20% interest on for their car. We can go to one of our lenders with that personal loan, and just recently we've had one we've taken it from 20% to 10% interest rate, or 9.9, and we've had another one from 15% to 9.5.
And the saving is massive, right? Like they will be saving themselves $200, $300 per month in their payments. And that sometimes is the difference between whether you can buy that house or not.
It's incredible, the difference. The banks look at, the lenders look at this situation with these huge car loans and high interest rates, and it's just a no. They're not interested in lending against when you're basically paying a mortgage on a car.
So we have to do a bit of tidy up work before the clients are ready.
Yeah.
And so the car loans, the credit cards, all sorts of different purchases that they would have made over the years. And the biggest loan we've consolidated recently is $80,000.
Okay. Wow.
And that's incredible to think that the consumer debt is growing. And unfortunately, people find themselves in those positions. And look, some of them were outside of their control.
Yep.
Some of them, had a family member die. And we see this a lot in our Pacifica community, where someone died and they have to attend a funeral. And usually when they go to the funeral, you can't just go by yourself. You have to bring your whole family. And they might be traveling to Tonga, Samoa. And it's the air flights. And then they're also expected to chip in for the funeral.
Yeah.
They can't just arrive with no money. So often they put themselves in a debt position to provide for their families. And it's a cultural obligation that we all understand, because I'm from a culture where you have to show up for your family when something happens. So there's zero judgment whatsoever when people get themselves in that position. But there is 100% support of how can we help them to get out of that hole. Because often when people are stressed and it's a stressful situation, they find themselves going to lenders that wouldn't give them the right rates and charge them an arm and a leg. Like you say, they might charge them 25%, 20%. They're taking advantage of that situation of the clients. And then,
Absolutely. That's what I'm seeing. And I just had a great case recently where I told him before, because this family were looking at buying a property, and I said to them, before any major purchases that you are planning on doing, you make sure you come and check with me first. Unfortunately, his car blew up. So he had to get a new car, but he went to a lender and they were going to charge him 15%.
Oof.
15%. But as soon as they realised that they were talking to us, they dropped their interest rate to 12.5%.
Oh, wow.
We still got it at 9.5%.
Yeah.
But you can just see the predatory lending that's out there taking advantage of people.
And he would have taken 15.
He would have, absolutely.
Because he's desperate. He needs to get from A to B. He needs to
go
work.
to work every day. It's a big trip every day he has to do.
Exactly.
So, and that's what's happened with previous applicants as well. So we really just would like, people to come to us because we are in more of a position where we're going to try and find the best deal for you rather than just smash you with a really high interest rate that's going to curtail any of your future plans. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people don't realize that we don't just do home loans. We actually do personal loan covers too.
Yep.
So if you are in that position where you just think that, oh my God, this hole is too deep and I don't know how I'm going to get out of it, come and talk to us. Would love to help you. Would love to assess your situation and see if there is an option. And look, we can't help everyone. Sometimes there are people that we just can't help because the situation is far too gone or the bad credit is affecting the application. So it's not like we're miracle workers and we can just help everybody. No. But the moral of the story is don't just take the first deal as the best deal. And if you had taken that because you were desperate, come back and review when, the emotions are a bit out of the way, when the stress is out of the way, and when you can actually think clearly and see what's the best way forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's incredible, James. I mean, saving, 5% on a personal loan is huge.
And it means he's still in the picture for getting a house, which is their dream still, right? They're really blown away because, not in a good way, because they were so close to getting a property and then the car blew up. And so it's, but because we've got them this decent car loan situation, it means that the goal of owning their own home is still quite doable. It's just going to take a few more months.
And also, instead of, for instance, overpaying, 3%, 5% on his personal loan, he could actually increase his repayments by that much and smash his car loan faster or redirect that money into savings.
With the lending that we've set up for them, they can do that. The other lending, they had no options but to pay it off over the whole term. Otherwise, there would have been a huge break fee. But here, with the lenders that we work with, we only work with the best ones. So, it's written into the agreements that you can pay it off sooner if you want to, which is exactly, with no cost. That's the key part, no cost. So that's really cool, and we're really careful about that.
That's awesome. Thank you, James, so much. Absolutely insightful episode. So for those that are listening, reach out to us if you know someone, if you know your friends that are struggling, because they recently had to get into debt or buy a new car and paying too much. Send them our way. We'll sort them out.
Absolutely.
Thank you. See ya. And that's a wrap on that Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.